What's up, Universus? It's been a very long time since I've last made content. I am happy to be back. For those of you who don't know who I am, I go by Malmo, Malmolian. My real name is Malcolm. I'm known between the community between either four of those names. I took a brief hiatus from the game, just kind of wasn't happy with results I was getting, happy where the game was at, and I just needed to step away from the game. I actually planned on stepping away until Guilty Gear came out. But man, this game called back out to me like the Green Goblin mask. So I just kind of started diving back into the game. I think I was just burnt out and found my love and passion for the game again. So I wanted to hop right back into it. The first deck profile that I wanted to do was with Jamie. I got excited when this character was revealed, especially under the water symbol. I've been wanting to play the water symbol for a long time now. My voice is a bit raspy. I apologize. I'm getting over whatever some crud is. So hopefully the volume, the audio is not too bad. But I still wanted to get this done because I'll be going out of town. I'm working the SWU championships, and I just wanted to get some content out, get back in the flow of things. So Jamie is a 7-hand size, 22 health character. With a response commit once per turn after you play an attack, add 1 drink counter to this character. As enhanced tenacious, your attack gets +1/+1 for each drink counter on this card, a maximum of 4. If your attack is completely blocked, ready this card. So first thing I compared this character to was like an Asui adjacent, Asui 1 adjacent, but instead of clearing our card pool, which they share 2 symbols, by the way, the air and the water symbol, but instead of clearing our card pool, keep it nice and clean, we just get to kind of keep pumping stats and adding it. So since I could not clear the card pool with my character per se, I wanted to go a different route with the water symbol, and that is like kind of make sure I can re-ready my foundations, and also adding bonuses to checks to kind of help mitigate that progressive difficulty that's going on. If I can get +1s to re-ready foundations, and that almost can kind of make up for not being able just to clear the card pool directly. So I start the attack lineup. I'm running 25 attacks. I think it's like a 35%. Yeah, like 35, almost 36% attacks. Starting off with 4 copies of Tasty Riff. Oh my god, a 2-check. It's okay. It's fine. I love Tasty Riff as a 5 high for 3. I get the first enhance that we get to build. And the beauty about this is, if this is the first attack in the string, you respond with Jamie after you play it. You get your booze counter on your very first attack turn, and you've got 1 counter. You could just pick that booze counter, drink counter. Sorry, you just pick that drink counter, and already you can build a 1 or a 0 diff. Most other characters, when you play Tasty Riff, you had to hope that there was a 0 diff you either reviewed or checked that was in your discard pile in order to take advantage of this early on. And this provides a ton of consistency. Just being able to pick between the 1 and the 0 means your chances of being able to hit on this is a lot better. And then, of course, the enhance of if the attack deals damage, draw 3, gain 3 applause, and discard down to your printed hand size. Part of what we do with Jamie is we can only re-ready him if attacks are completely blocked. So a lot of the attack lineups we have is kind of be like, dang it if you do, dang it if you don't. Obviously, if you don't block this, I get to draw my cards as a 7-hand aggro character. Maybe I'll be able to filter out or find answers, or maybe able to build better to set up for the next turn for potentially a kill turn, so on and so forth. But gaining those applause counters means that if there are other Tasty Riffs that are available, means that I could start picking up attacks, and that's something that definitely as a rival they're not going to want to allow to happen. But the deal is, if you completely block this, then we get to ready Jamie, and then when I play another attack, very early, we're talking our very first attack turn, we can already start playing the first 2 attacks, and then have +2/+2 already set up, and that was just the end of our first turn. 4 copies of Shoulder Toss, again, in the theme of danged if you do, danged if you don't. It's a throw with stun 1. Has the brawler bits, that doesn't matter. Jamie is a brawler, that'd be important for other stuff. But for this, it doesn't matter, that's a slam. But we're playing this for the response. After this attack deals less than printed damage, draw a card, and ready 1 foundation that hasn't been ready this combat phase. Again, it's a throw, so unless they have things specific like Mikasa defeats the female titan, or flipping like Faith Shield or something like that, to completely mitigate the damage, we're going to be able to get damage in, draw a card and ready a foundation. That's perfect for being able, if we wind up checking the 3, playing this first in the string, or maybe it's the second or third attack, and we had to commit a couple foundations, we can ready up, we can draw. In addition to the stun as well too. But I love this card because Jamie can put +3/+3 on it. We're talking like a 4 mid for 8 throw, which is a pretty fast throw. And even if it is half blocked, because it says less than printed damage, we would still get the response. So we can almost have the max stats on our character as a 4/4. That'd be the only time that we won't be able to do that anymore. But we're pretty happy if I've got, what is it? What's the 4/4? So it's a 5 mid for 9 throw. Even if it is half blocked, I'm still doing 5 damage. I'm okay with not getting that response at that point. That 5 damage could be huge and going forward into the turn. So again, a very, very versatile card. Yeah, it's a terrible block mod. It's a throw. But again, putting our rivals in that darned if you do, darned if you don't. 4 copies of Battle or Release. This card has a damage cap on itself at a max of 4. Jamie allows us to get over that. So Jamie can put, +4/+4 at the max on it. And then it has a max of 4 itself. So typically this card has a 4 high for 8 on its own. Jamie can make it an 8 high for 12, which we're talking, 20 stats on a 4 diff. It's insane. We got a good draw engine there. It can help flip our foundations in order to fuel the damage. And it makes Battle or Release a very scary attack, either at the beginning of a string, in the middle of a string, and the end of a string, because it just wears stats like crazy. 4 copies of Breaking. This is the ultra rare that comes in the Jamie and Chun-Li deck. It's a 5 mid 5, powerful 3 with a response of Drive 1. Drive 1's a new mechanic where you either spend the momentum or commit a foundation. And after you play this attack, add 1 drink counter to your character, ready your character. I like this. I've been using this. I like to see this on my opening, not my opening turn. I guess my turn 2, whichever one. The first attack turn that I can do something with, because, I play this as the first attack with Jamie. I commit Jamie. I can get, my first drink counter. Then hopefully I've checked well. I do the thing to go ahead and add another drink counter to Jamie. Or if I think my rival's going to try to block, I can ready him. But more than likely or not, I'm just going to add the drink counter anyway. This immediately becomes a 7 mid 7, even if I don't have any type of momentum. It's going to force my rival to burn through resources early if you find this early on. Whereas a great block mod, +1. And then also the powerful 3 as well. With us throwing so many attacks in a string, we're going to hopefully be throwing like 3 or 4 attacks in a string. Getting momentum shouldn't be a problem. I know in my early play testing with this deck, getting momentum has not been an issue, and I've been able to use this as like the 3rd or 4th attack in the string. After my rivals spent a significant amount of resources either using damage reduction or speed reduction, and then just pumping this to the moon after Jamie, and then just get that powerful 3 on. So great card. 4 copies of that as well too. 4 copies of Smash and Stomp. Absolutely love this card. Again, we are putting our rival in a bad situation. It's already a 4 low 6, so the worst Jamie can make this is a 5 low 7. This is almost always an opener attack, as best as I can make it. Enhance your next check to play an attack gets +1. So we like, hopefully, if I have to play as a 2nd or a 3rd, God forbid, at least I will be able to, there we go. At least I'll be able to give +1 to the next check. And then it has a response after this deals damage, draw 1 card. Again, we want to blow through the deck pretty good, find our answers. We want to kind of take advantage of our early stat gains and just try to overrun our opponent early on in the game. If not, it's also a decent mid-game card as well, too, again, as I'm looking to find answers. Or maybe, I had a bad opening hand and I had 4 or 5 attacks. I could play the Smashing Stomp. Start getting a draw engine going, hopefully to start seeing some gray in order to build our stage for future turns. So really like this card. Also has the random EX3. If need be, we can just pump it to the moon to end as well. I like to have my decks to have at least 1 attack with powerful 3 and 1 attack with EX3, or both, as some attacks in our game have both of those. 2 copies of Invisible Infiltration. I love this card. The reason this card exists in this deck is I can replay, because a lot of our foundation costs are going to be flipped. So a lot of our foundations are getting flipped for temporary benefits. Invisible Infiltration says that I get another use out of that card, which is very, very good, because there's a reason why a lot of these cards have flip costs, because most of the time they're pretty powerful. They don't want them, not being committed to be able to be reusable over and over again. Invisible Infiltration does that for us. Plus, it's damage pump from our rival before even Jamie can even put stats on it. Again, Jamie makes this a 4 low 6. Could be a 5 low 7 with just +2/+2, and that's just his stats. That's not including the damage pump from the enhance itself. I like to use it with Ecological Fighter. Could be condescending explanation. We'll get to the foundation's targets when I talk about there, but another good low attack. And then the last in the deck is Whirling Slash, 4 copies of Whirling Slash. It's secret rare from Battle for Humanity, Attack of Titan. A Blitz committed up to 3 foundations. This attack on your next attack gets +1 speed for each foundation. If you committed at least 1, draw a card. And that's what we had this in here for. Just another good flow card. It pumps this one up, so it's a 4 high 5 before Jamie does anything to it. At worst, a 5 high 6 that I'm drawing a card off of. Then my next one gets +1 speed as well. So the goal is just constantly, like, every card in the attack lineup is either providing stats or providing draw for everything in and of itself. So that was kind of the goal with it. And then yeah, so that's just what it is there. I think this probably could be one if there's one maybe to look to place different, but it's played pretty well for what it's done. It hasn't performed too bad, but it could be something not at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are pretty much all but revealed. Just trying to take a look at it and see if maybe there's something that I would go there that potentially would be the first attack to go. I guess we'll talk about the assets. 2 copies of Titan Stone Knuckles. As Deflect 3, it's a unique vestige. Enhance, commit a foundation, your attack gets +2 damage and stun 1. I like to, if I can find this early, it just, again, tax your rival's resources. If I can have this and check well, usually I can like end the game on a 4 attack string. If not, I like it mid or late game because that stun 1 is going to kind of help starting to get through that board. So we're pumping our stats. So hopefully our rivals having to commit 3 or 4 foundations every time they are blocking our attacks, and then the stun just kind of helps to wear them down eventually to get over there. It also has the response commit. After this attack is blocked, destroy 1 rival asset, and your rival flips a foundation. Again, just have a bit of asset hate inside the deck here. And the other secret text on this is Jamie again has the brawler keyword, and I can enhance commit. You may use this card's deflectability from your stage to this attack. So it just says, hey, you can mess up their math by deflect 3. So it's either you can play it in hand or in the stage. Very, very good, unique vestige. I love this card. I think I finally have found a home for it. I'm sad when I don't see it, but I don't think I would improve it more than 2x. Just because it's not necessary for the deck to win. It's kind of more of a mid to late game closeout. Originally did the same effect I had for was it Titanic Combatant, where you committed the Godzilla Foundation, where you get +2 damage and rival commits a foundation. But being able to play this on an asset freed up 2 more copies in my foundation lineup that I could play other cards with. And on to the foundations. Switch the difficulty here. Got 3 copies of Surprising Skill. Surprising Skill helps us not get stunned out early. Helps protect us against sealing our key pieces, because again we are aggro deck, so there are a few answers in the stage. This card helps protect us against our rivals, protects our answers against our rivals as they are coming in. Have it at 3x right now, maybe 4, I don't know. That block bot is terrible and it just gets built. It has to be built every time. But we are running 2 checks, we are running 4 checks, so I did want to have at least like 7 or 8 0 diffs in the deck. 4 copies of Syndicate Target. Speaking of needing to run long strings, the 6 checks help to have long strings, plus a +0 block mod. Okay, 1 health to be able to block off of that. Not much need to be said about that. Fast Friendship, 4 copies of it. Again, we're having a lot of flip cost foundations, so very often this is just going to be a -3 speed for us to be able to block. Ferocious Attacker. 1/5 enhanced flip. If your rival has lost health this turn, draw a card. Again, we're going to be pumping out a ton of damage. We got a few throws. We're pumping stats. So this pretty reliably just says enhance, draw 1. Hopefully within like the first or second attack within the turn. It's also sneaky because it says if they've lost health this turn. So if for some reason they have to pay health for an ability, or if we're on the defense and they have to pay cost, a Tetra Terror or something along the lines of that, we're able just to say, hey, flip draw, because our rivals lost health this turn. It didn't say damage. 3 copies of Capture Target. We are Capture the Target deck. I was running 4. I didn't like how often I was seeing it because sometimes it was just hard to trigger, and I just wanted at least something that had a little bit more impact on the board, but 3 is perfectly where I'm at. Usually I like to see a couple of these. Just to be able to enhance once per turn. If you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, ready the foundation. And then, so I do like to do this, ready it off of itself, and then use other cards to be able to re-ready it again as well too. Ecological Fighter, this card may go up to a 3 of. This card is put in work every time I have seen it in my stage. It's a 1/4 from the Jun Kazama Clash deck. Enhanced flip, ready 1 foundation, ready 1 face down foundation. If you dealt damage this turn, ready 2 face downs instead. So Limitless does a similar thing. It's a 1/5 check, but it says flip, ready 1 foundation. That's its ceiling. For Ecological Fighter, that's its floor. So no matter what, I can still do the same thing as Limitless, but it has a ceiling of being able to ready 2 face down foundations. And with as much as our board that's going to be flipped, re-readying 2 foundations just means that we can continue going on and on and on and on. I have Run Idiot, 2 copies of it. This is my repeatable speed hate, just a couple copies of it. And we do like to have that in stage for some of these other decks that are like us or are playing multiple attacks in a string. Enhanced commit, this attack gets -2 speed. However, if I completely block this attack, gain a health. Just a small benefit, because we're going to be using our health as a resource. This allows me to be able to kind of start getting that health back. 3 copies of Street Hero. The new struggling with studies, kind of. Excuse me, it's enhanced flip. Add a card from your card pool to your hand. Only playable if you block 2 or more attacks this turn. This allows us to be kind of free-ish with our attacks, because our attacks have great block mods. +1, +2. Well, not the throw, but +2, +2, +2. Yeah, the throw is the only thing that's +3. Everything is +2 or +1. But we can kind of block with those a little bit more freely, flip to be able to have it back in our hands for our turn when it comes back our way. 4 copies of Dance Routine is probably going to go down to 3 copies. This is my repeatable speed hate. For those who are familiar with the MHA format of set 1, this would be like my Survive in the Final, which was a 0 diff that just had an enhanced once per turn attack. It's -1 speed. Dance Routine, it's tenacious. It does the same thing. And also Battle Aura Release and Tasty Riff are charge attacks. And if they happen to deal 4 or less damage, then I get the bonus of being able to draw a card and gain an applause counter. Not really looking for that response, just looking for the top enhance, which is why I probably may drop this down to 3 of and add something else in. Fell Role Model, single copy of Flip Mill 1, Seal Arrival Foundation. I'm experimenting with how much control I want in the deck. Granted, we are an aggro deck and want to kill, but we need to be able to have answers, or I need to be able to be nice to seal that invincible body. The condescending explanation, so on and so forth. So I'm experimenting with that, as with all decks that you do. You go extremely one way or the other. In this case, I had extremely all stat pumping foundations, just a little bit of defense. And as I've done more playtesting, I'll go back through and take out what feels over the top, and then start plugging the holes that I feel that the deck has. 2 copies of Faith Shield. It is doing what Faith Shield does and has done for a long time. It's just a hand trap answer for Fallen Titans, and then you can stop the loop there. Any type of attacks that have damage triggers or unyielding heat, if it's used as an attack, we can go ahead and flip it. Don't have to worry about that out the way. Face Shield is just a good card. 2 copies. Cheerleader. Cheerleader has been, I don't think Cheerleader's been played much since it's been reprinted in Girl Power. This card has response, remove and spend a momentum. After an attack is played, it gains flash. Blitz is not a super interactable keyword right now, so you don't have very many answers right now. However, Blitz takes place during the enhanced step. So if we flash, that means we can flash, true 100% unleash before it gets, its stat punts. We can flash Fallen Titans, the Beast Titans Barrage, Rock Titan Barrage, I forget what it's called. We can flash a lot of these cards that have these extremely potent blitzes and just say, hey, we can just eat just the stats, or, just put us in position just to go ahead and be able to block it and move on. Again, momentum is not a super issue in this deck. I just like to have the flash answer right now currently. I know in TMNT they had a few reveals. I don't remember what symbols they were on about cards that say, hey, cancel the blitz. But if we never get to the enhanced step, we never have to worry about it. 3 copies of Mikasa defeats the female Titan. This is wall clean. Just now the new and standard. After you block an attack, that attack deals no damage. Again, stops those triggers from a lot of stuff, honestly. But it also means that I don't have to necessarily play the block zone lottery. If I have, it feels a lot safer having a mid block in hand. Because then I can block any zone as need be and not have to worry about the damage being done. 2 copies of Tusku's True. This might go up to 3. This card has been performing very well. It's a enhanced, discard a card, draw a card. That's once per turn, just being able to, again, filter our hand. But once again, Jamie has that brawler keyword. So he has access to this response flip after attack is completely blocked. Ready foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. So in addition to Jamie being able to ready himself after being completely blocked, we can trigger the Tusku's Crew in order to flip and ready any foundation. It doesn't have to be a face down. Ready any foundation. I just think it's very, very cool that we have access to. I mean, I think it's good enough even if it was just using the once per turn to discard a card to draw a card. But the fact that we have access to the entire card is just a huge bonus. On to the 3 diffs. I am running 4 3 diffs in the deck. 2 copies of Condensation Explanation. First enhance, remove, spin a momentum, flip this attack. Excuse me. Again, more answers to Beast Titans, Rock Barrage, Falling Skies. I mean, it can be for Falling Skies. True 100%, for the Nick Reagans that are still going out there. And just a whole other plethora of attacks that you just don't want to deal with. You just flip it, abort it, and don't have to worry about it. I do like, again, having answers in stage and then Face Shield in hand as well. But Face Shield requires a block. Condensation Explanation is just requiring the momentum. Again, just to be able to flip and take care of that. And then the last 3 diffs that I'm running is 2 copies of Dedicate Your Heart. Once per turn, sacrifice foundation. Ready foundation has not been ready this combat phase. And the random deadlock enhance. Flip, clear 2 cards from your card pool. The deadlock may not come into hand. It will come in handy when it does. Just be able to straight up clear progressive is nuts just for a flip cost and still be able to keep it as a resource. But the once per turn, again, I hate having a blank stage. I like my cards in my stage to do something. So being able to have a sacrifice outlet to start kind of blowing up the committed ones to ready the other ones allows me to have a bit more utility. Feel a bit Irwin-ish with what I'm doing with my resources. So the sideboard is a mix of stuff that I do have in there and stuff that I am testing with. Rejuvenating Prayer is in there. It has Deflect 2, but this is a direct counter to Unyielding Heat. It is a water attune symbol. It says first enhance. If your attack is blocked, gain 1 health. It completely counteracts to where it says if this attack is blocked, your rival loses a health. It just completely washes it out. Only thing it contends with the first enhances with condescending explanation, and then Tasty Rift, but we don't have to worry about it on Tasty Rift because that first attack is not going to happen with an Unyielding Heat block. It'll just be the second one on, but at least the water symbol has a direct answer to that. 2 copies of Eyes of the Tiger. This is for my Godzilla decks or any of the other City Rampage decks, and none of the other non-characters. It says that remove checks cannot be modified by non-character effects for the rest of the turn. If I don't plan on playing any Smashing Stomps, that's the only thing I have that can manipulate my checks, I'm more than happy to play this if it's going to screw my rival over more than it will me. Broken Psyche, thinking about maybe having as a sideboard option. Again, it's another flip discard momentum. I don't want to have too many momentum outs because I'd like to be able to have offensive and defensive options, but flip discard momentum in order to change this attack's damage to 2. Again, have another ready resource, and reducing things to 2 damage is very good as well. Weapon Clash, I have not tested. I'm on the fence about. Again, I can start blowing up face down foundations if I can't block for -2 damage. I can also kind of just go ahead and flip it if I want to pump up Battle Aura releases early to start kind of turbo building. Again, I like to be careful with that because I don't want to be at 10 foundations and 8 of them are blank before I even get to use any abilities on them. So I don't know. Depends on how more testing with the deck goes. If I will include Weapons Clash or not. Let's see how I am doing on time. We are like at 24 minutes. Cool. Now I'm rambling on a bit, but I'm just excited to be back. Two types of creative strategists. This is pony hate. I don't know. It's like strictly pony hate unless we start having more card pool clearing characters and start making more top cuts, things like that. It's just flip after your rival clears a card from their card pool during the combat phase. Add top card of their deck to their card pool face down. Just saying you're still going to be able to play on that progressive. I don't care what you do. Finally, Solus. I've been thinking heavy about having this card in the main board. It's just a response flip after your rival plays a keyword ability. Ready 2 foundations have not been ready this combat phase. So my rival could play stun 2, and then I can just flip this and ready the 2 cards that were stunned. They could play breaker 1. They could play breaker 2. If I already had committed foundations, I can go ahead and flip and ready them as I try to fight through the breaker. So it's just a very useful card. Trying to find space for it though has been a bit of a task. Same deal, moment of normalcy. I don't know if I have enough answers between like Mikasa defeats the female Titan. Face Shield, kind of sending explanation. I feel like I have a lot of answers for attacks that might get super big or super fast, but maybe moment of normalcy would be in there. I just have to be careful of how many defensive options I am putting in the deck because I don't want to necessarily be like, hey, I'm going to completely prepare for this and sacrifice too much offensive efficiency. Last thing I have in there that will be in the sideboard, especially after this recent regional Louisville, is activate the coordinate. Blitz each rival backup loses 2 stamina. This will strictly just come in against those backup decks and being able just to hit 2 stamina them across the board. You play 2 of these in a turn, you are most likely, wiping out most of the backup stage. And thankfully it's a fire attuned, which Jamie has the fire symbol on him. So we got a straight answer. I may pop these in instead of the whirling slasher. It's a 5 diff, but it's just going to make my life easier against a lot of those backup decks. So yep, that is the deck. I know I ran a bit long here, but I do want to hop over to TTS here so we can do like a little run through deck. So I've got here, I'll call odds. It's odds. We'll go on the play. So yeah, so we'll shuffle, draw my 7 just so we can kind of see what turn I have here. Okay, I'll keep this hand. I do see 1 tasty riff. Do we risk it for the biscuit? Sure, why not? On a 3. Hey, it checks. We'll go on a 3. It checks. On a 3. It checks. And then on a 3. It checks. Cool. So we built for our first turn. Put this down. Now we're ready up for the next turn. 5 skip review. Would like to have the Faith Shield just for the next turn, just in case, a throw or something's coming that I don't want to have. This is what I talked about in the deck profile. We could start with the Tasty Riff on a 4. Checks a 3. Oh no, we'll go 4. Respond, be able to commit, go ahead and get our drink counter. And so now we already have the 1/1. We do the first enhance. Let's take a look at our discard pile here. And we have a 1 diff. So I can either do Fast Friendship or Street Hero since it does round up. But I think we will do, see, I don't have the Speed Hate, so I think we'll just put the Fast Friendship and we'll just go ahead and build it in. Do our thing, say, hey, it does this. If it hits, blase, blase. Have Jamie give it 1/1, so now it is a 6 for 4. Yeah, it's a 6-side 4. I don't know if anybody's going to commit out to try to block a 6 damage move, especially considering that, something else may be coming behind it. So let's say, hey, it hits. We'll do that. Gain our applause counters, which I won't track, and we'll do here. Let's get rid of... We got a lot of good options here. There's my other repeatable Speed Hate. Let's get rid of Run Idiot. Just for the sake of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I miscounted. Let's get rid of another one. That's my only low block. I guess we can... Nope, because I want to keep the Face Shield. What's Felt Role Model? Mid block, ugly mid block. We'll just go ahead and get rid of the one of as bad as it seems. TTS is jumping all over the place for me. There we go. Okay. Then I could play maybe another tasty riff. I could play the shoulder toss here. So let's play shoulder toss, on 5. Checks the 3. We'll go 4 because I don't want to blow stuff up yet. And then 5 here. So yeah, we'll do the thing. Say it gets 1-1. So it's a 2 for 6. This one they're not going to eat 6 guard 8-4 unless they just want to take 10 damage for the turn. So I'd say they half block it, do my 3 damage. I get my response. I'm going to choose to ready this one up. Draw a card as we get another attack. And then now I can look to build out from this turn just from being able to draw early enough. We can make sure that we don't be too greedy. 2, 3, 4. Checks the 3. We'll commit that for 4. Let's try the 5. Yeah, let's try 5. It checks. And then we'll try another 5. Checks the 4. Do I just commit forward? Yeah. It's an early turn, so I don't think we need to be too concerned. But there we are. And just our little makeshift example here. I have theoretically 2 momentum. Go there. Let's say I had to use the Faith Shield to block with. We made the check or whatever. And then I'll get rid of this as it's my turn. We'll ready up. We'll draw my 5. See what we get here. Smash and stomp, smash and stomp. Another this. Tasty riff, whirling slash. Okay. So, we got a ton to work with here. Got a decent stage. I got a lot of draw here. Once per turn things going. So, yeah, but that's the deck. If you guys like it. Oh, no, I checked the 3. But if you guys like it, like I said, just comment. Let me know any other ideas that you have. I've been having a blast playing this deck. Been enjoying testing it. Definitely going to further testing it. This is definitely going to be my second competitive deck. I'll make another video talking about that. My other competitive deck is Order Irwin. I like to have 2 competitive decks and a third, for fun deck or locals or work on deck as well too. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I plan on making UBS content a lot regularly. More consistently, I should say, not necessarily regularly, like with deck profiles and some other things like that. So yeah, I'm glad to be back. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye now.